Don't forget to pray. But don't be ashamed to pray. And don't be too proud to pray. Because prayer changes things.
You know, sometimes, man, it's good to hear from somebody that you might think is successful that can share a piece of information, because a lot of people, that's really all that's missing from a person going from this level to the next level. It's just a piece of information. It's not money, it's information. Because being successful is just knowing the principles of success. Like, if you understood a very simple principle, the principle of gratitude, do you understand that if you were to wake up every day and go down the list of things and just tell God what you're grateful for? Don't wake up a single day without going down the list of things you're grateful for. It could be something minute. You know, waking up, you should really thank him every day, because I don't know if you notice or not, you really don't have the ability to wake yourself up. You really don't. A lot of alarm clocks go off and people don't answer the bell. Your alarm clock can go off, but God has to shake you to wake you so you hear them. That's, you know, it's not the alarm. So if you wake up every day and you go down the list of things that you're grateful for, what God does in return is he gives you more things to be grateful for, because he's a very wise and generous God, right? If you're not grateful for the things I've given you and you have no gratitude for it, and that seems to be really mundane to you, it's burdensome. Why would I overload you with some more stuff that you ain't grateful for? See, gratitude, man, people don't understand how important that little thing is. Even if you don't have a plan, even if you don't know what your next move is, if you just woke up every day and just thanked him for just all the things you can go down, the next day, the very next day, I promise you, not me, he promises you, that he'll give you more to be grateful for. You'll be stunned how that, just change that one little thing. Show gratitude and then watch him give you a whole lot more stuff to be grateful for. It's not a day that I'm not able to add something else to the list. I mean, like, hey, if you got these masks on, but you survive.
Prayer changes things. Don't forget to pray. But don't be ashamed to pray. And don't be too proud to pray. Because prayer changes things. Listen to me. You saw an example of it today. This man been gone 36 years. Prayer changes things. I don't care how dark it looked for you. I don't care what they done said to you. I don't care what the verdict is. I don't care what the haters say. I grew up on a block, man, that it didn't breed success. A lot of people on our block ain't here no more, man. I grew up in a place, man, that was you had to be something else, you come up out of that. Prayer changes things. I was told I would never be nothing. Prayer changes things. I flunked out of school. Prayer changes things. I'm on my third marriage, lost everything I've owned twice. I've been homeless and lived in a car for 3 years. Prayer changes things. Prayer. The cool thing about prayer is the one thing that's available to everybody at any given time. Do you know that God ain't ever too busy for you? You know that God actually knows who you are? Do you know that God actually created you to converse with him? Do you know that God would actually love to hear from you? Do you know that I like talking to him even when I don't really need nothing? So when I do need something, I don't want to have to introduce myself to him. Listen to me, man. Quit playing with this here. You're not going to make it without God. If you've tried it so far, tell me how that's working out for you. It sucked, don't it? You need God. Don't you think I got here without him. I've needed him every step of the way. If it wasn't for God, I wouldn't even be standing here today. I'm telling you right now, you need God. You need to tell him that you need him. Quit being ashamed about it and worrying about who looking. Go somewhere by yourself today and tell God you need some help.
It's like God is too late doesn't mean that he's not going to come through. Don't be fooled by the circumstances. You may not see anything. The odds are against you. The experts say it's not going to work out. God controls the universe. Don't be impatient for him to act. Keep believing, keep praying, and every blessing that belongs to you will show up. You won't have to go after it. It's going to come to you. It's going to happen at the time God has planned.
All I ever asked God for was to let me eat. Let me sit at the table with the big boys. Take me from this homelessness that I'm in and fill my coffers with spoils. You know how much I have today? I have more than I ever thought I'd ever have. I got more. God didn't. Gave me more than I asked for, because he got this thing he has called grace. Grace is, I wish I could buy it. You know, I wish I could buy grace, man. I was playing golf with an old guy that owns Mayo Clinics. Mayo Clinics, you know how much money you got to have to own all of them? I'm playing golf with this guy and he taught me something. He said, Steve, listen to this. You seem like a spiritual guy. I want to share something with you. He said, justice is when you get what you deserve. Mercy is when you don't get what you deserve. He said, but grace is different from both of them. Grace is when you get what you don't deserve. Do you understand that? God has this thing that he passes out called grace. You ever heard old people say, all I want is a little more grace? Because guess what? He passes it out and he gives you things you don't deserve. I do not deserve this. Life I have. I'm just telling you flat out. The money I make, where I live, what I drive, how I travel, how I vacation, I don't deserve it. I work really hard, but I really don't deserve all of this. I don't. I ain't that good a Christian. I'm telling you flat out, I don't deserve it. But he gave me grace. He let me survive homelessness. He bought me from dark, man. I've been out. Y'all don't know. I've been in it. I'm so grateful that God let me have this life he gave me that I don't even know what to do. Do you know when I was homeless, I told God every day, if you let me make it, when I get there, I'm going to tell everybody it was you. Well, guess what? I'm telling you that it was him. I have no education. I ain't got a degree of any kind. What you see today is a boy that come out the bottom who believed in him when it wasn't no sign of me getting over, who kept doing this thing that his mother taught. She said, when it get dark for you and you can't find your way, and boy, I was lost. She said, don't forget to pray. Don't be ashamed to pray. And don't ever be too proud to pray, because prayer changes things. You have got to pray. You know what you ought to get? You ought to create your relationship with God. Because if you do that, he gonna put some grace on you. And he gonna give you some things you don't deserve. Then you won't need no education. You won't need to go and complete the program no more. You ain't got to go over here and ask nobody where they hide. God takes you to places. That you never ever thought you go. I never saw myself here. But that God I serve, he saw me here. And he put me here. Now all I'm doing right now is telling you that with God you can make it. I don't know why he had you come to this show. I don't know why I'm telling it to you like this today. But if you ain't ever tried God, listen to me. You should try him. Because he's very available to you right now.
What do you do when God shows up too late? You prayed, you believed, but the problem didn't turn around. The business didn't make it. Your health didn't get better. Trust him when you don't see anything happening. Believe when heaven is silent. He's working behind the scenes. Every blessing that has your name on it, if you will be patient, it's not only going to find you, it's going to be much better than you think. The delay is a sign that God is up to something big.